Hello and welcome to my channel, A Piece of Gaia. My name is Lindsay, and today we are focusing on the next 3-month outlook of your work situation, your finances, your career, whatever process that you are in financially. So to my worker bees or my queen bees, you are the bee's knees. So we are going to look into it with 3 different readings. We have one with the beeswax, 2 with the silver coin, and 3 with this citrine pendant. If you'd like to choose with cards, we're going to go ahead and shuffle out some cards as well. All right, so group number 1 with the beeswax and shooting star with life purpose. Number 2 with the silver coin and hops and celebration. And number 3 with the citrine pendant and yarrow boundaries. And I will see you in your selected reading. Hello to those of you who chose group 1 with the beeswax here. All right, so we got the first card out is going to represent a little bit of energy from your first month of these 3 months, okay? So this is for your work, your career, your finances, and how that is progressing in this next 3 months. We're going to get an animal spirit for as well. So we're going to get 3 different cards represent each month. And then we will do moon oracles and animal totem tarot for the overall. Right. All right, so your first month out has got life purpose, life is speeding up, and the talisman number 31. So already I feel as though things are going to become more balanced. There are more connections that you're going to be making. And it just says life is speeding up. And I feel like that's because you have found what it is in part of your purpose in this next 3 months, in the first month starting out. And you're going to be moving towards that. And through this discovery of more of your life purpose, the reason I feel like things are going to be speeding up is because this talisman is showing me that since you have done a lot of healing, doors are now opening for you. You're finding more love and compassion and understanding within your finances as well. So maybe your relationship with money has been healed. I'm seeing this antelope as, I'm seeing this energy of kind of like the stag, as in there's this fatherly energy within you, this masculine energy that is being pushed towards progress and success. And I feel that that energy is really speeding up. It's moving things forward for you because there is maybe something in your past that you had been healing from and things were going quite slow until you had kind of realized that unless you were going to heal this process of your life, things couldn't progress that much further. So this first month out of these 3 months is really going to be about you identifying just the simple fact that how far you've come, really, I feel. And then from that, there might be some connections that we are attached to that are going to help us elevate our life in some way. And then the talisman is showing me also that you have the keys to something with whatever you have been dealing with your life purpose. Maybe you have looked more into your astrology chart and your north node, and you have seen how you can move forward and move toward more of your dharma, more of your purpose. And then from that, you created this metaphorical key to open this metaphorical door that is leading you to a lot of different things. And you get to choose, because there's a lot of doors opening for you. So there's going to be a lot of choices that need to be made in this next cycle about your finances. So let's go ahead and look at month number 2. Month number 2 for those who selected group 1. Also choosing the beeswax. The feeling I'm getting from the beeswax, I was kind of guided to pick that just because of the bees little motif we have today and worker bee energy. But also I feel that there is some kind of product that you are making out of this. I feel like it's almost something, because the beeswax is like the thing that holds the honey in. It's the capsule that holds in the honey. So I feel like maybe you are going to be able to reap rewards from, you know, having more money available to you than just paying your bills alone. You're going to be able to hold on to something sweet. There's going to be a sweet return in something that you have, okay? So in that, I feel like there's maybe some residual product or something. There is something that is left over, or a part of something that you have made that you're realizing you can also use something that's like a little bit of an add-on to what you're doing. And I'm seeing that as the beeswax, but what I can also see that like is, let's say you discover a new way of moving towards your life purpose and in achieving your goals in your career, and then you make this schedule for yourself, and then you're like, you know, this is working so well for me that I'm going to try to offer this to other people. So I could see that maybe through this process of you finding out things and this healing that you've done, you're also able to make something off of what you've done to you're also helping other people and making more money in that process. So that's amazing. All right. Then we have the bat spirit with number 5. A rebirth is assured. All right, this one actually kind of wanted to come out. I don't know if you saw that flash come out in the first month. It kind of came out together with these 2 cards, so that's very interesting. So we have a 23 here, another 5. So, and then the second month, you're going to be experiencing some change in your life. You might even look outside of the box. There might be something that you are seeing from a different perspective, because now that you've started working through some things and walking toward more of your purpose and things start speeding up, it's like all these things start to open up for you. Okay, so I feel like in that process also you've been able to open your heart more and shine more and really blossom within this period of time. And you're starting to create this kind of energy that I'm seeing is creating this kind of vortex of energy where you're being very magnetic and you're attracting things to you. And when you do that, you become more valuable in your efforts. Like everything that you are doing is becoming more valuable to you. And then also this rebirth is assured with the bat spirit. I feel like it's almost like I'm hearing echolocation with that. So it's like you become in tune with these senses, that now that you have basically tuned into the vibration of being able to draw things towards you, you can also really sense out what is really going to work for you and what isn't. So it's like even I'm seeing navigating in the dark. So it's like even dealing with areas that you're not very familiar with, your senses are going to be very heightened so that you know what is right for you, so you're not wasting your time in any processes. So I see you really getting efficient with your time and being able to make everything count for little things that come along your way. So let's say if there's a period of time where you're doing something and you're like, you have wasted a lot of time in the past working with something, and then this time you're looking at things like, no, I'm not going to go down that road because I can already sense there's a block in the way. Like echolocation, it drives the bat to hear like a moth or a bug or something that it can eat, but it also shows like a block, like a tree in the way or something, so that it's able to fly around those things. So I feel like you're going to be navigating more easily through this process. And the 5 and the 2, see, we had these even numbers and then we have these odd numbers. So it's like the 5 is showing me that there's going to be like these new experiences, these new things, these new changes that are going to happen within this rebirth energy. So it's like the old part of you that has shedded away and that was hurt and confused and maybe had some financial lack, and just I'm feeling like maybe there was some poverty mindset in the past. Since you've been able to heal those things, now change is really picking up for you, and you're going to be able to see yourself in a whole nother light. And when you start doing this, I feel in this card, it's funny, it's like this card is telling me that you are protected in these processes, because there may be people around you that were kind of people of your past, or people that you had on the same level as you, but now you're reaching a different level. And it's not to say that you're better than them or anything like that, but they may feel a little bit of jealousy in this process. And I also am guided to say, do not compare yourself with anybody along this journey. If it helps to compare yourself when you're first starting out, as far as understanding what avenue you want to go down, I can see that can be very healthy for you. But getting to a place of comparison once you've gotten into a flow, it's like, let's try to avoid that, because let's let yourself be in the pace that you want to go in, the flow that you want to go in, and you get to make the changes that you want to make, because that's going to be what's going to help guide you in the direction that you need to go in. And if there is people along the way that are jealous of you, I do see that this evil eye energy, this is really showing me that you are protected through this process. Also, if you have any talismans or anything like this around you, that might also be beneficial in this process. Like I have one. I have a hamsa hand with these little things hanging off it on my door. And I feel like that really helps me from, ever since I put that on there, I feel like my energy has become more efficiently channeled, so that I can be able to do the different modes of work that I do creatively, and I don't get thrown off of my creative process. So I feel that there might be something of also value to you that you might want to safeguard in this process, because you don't want a lot of people's opinions mucking up the energy in month 2 of this process. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at month 3. Month 3 for those who selected group 1. All right, we have Teasel with protection. So very good. We already had the protection already. So you're definitely protected in this process. Things start picking up. Maybe you start making some extra money. Maybe you have not been able to save this much money ever in your life. And already so far your guides are coming through and saying, we will protect you through this process. We know that you're trying your best. We know that this is a time that you are, taking the lead. There we go. The stag spirit. I already said that for this one. So yeah, interesting. Yeah, you are definitely protected, and it's because you've also rooted. This is showing me the roots here. You've really rooted yourself in your own self-worth, I am seeing. And through that process, you've really balanced out your masculine, feminine energies. I'm also just seeing your root chakra with these red colors. I'm seeing your root chakra with these red eyes. It's like you've been able to really narrow in on what your beliefs are and how strongly you feel about your connection to your money, to your work, to your efforts in this lifetime. We have protection again. Wow. So maybe you really need to be told that in month 3, when things have really escalated and picked up and you've been making, your due diligence, you've been really putting in the hard work. And I just feel like you are really establishing yourself in this. And then there comes in like a little bit of the worry, because you're like, oh, I don't know, like, is this going to go okay? Is it going to continue to go okay like this? And I'm being told that if you keep your feminine and your masculine energy in balance, and you still take into account that you need that self-care and you need that receptive time, that feminine time, and that you can also honor your going forward time as your masculine time. So in month 3, it's really going to start to hit home about your work efforts. And I'm being told also that don't push yourself too hard. Honor your cycles, honor the things about yourself that are going to help keep you in a constant balance and a constant flow. Because I'm feeling like once things really start picking up and you've got this new energy of this rebirth that you're feeling, and you're really starting to locate things that are going to work for you, then that's when the protection really comes in. It's like, I'm just feeling like you need to hear that things, once they start really picking up, you are protected at this time. Because I feel also there may be something that you might have to stand up for. And we're going to get a little more overview energy of all these 3 months combined. But I'm seeing that with this Norse rune is showing me that through this battle that you are facing with your career, with your finances, maybe there will be a lot of competition, okay? You are protected through this competition. I feel that your body, your mind, your spirit is all very connected at this time. And if you're tuning into any of these readings, you're probably a spiritual person in general. So work might be one of those areas that you've really had to focus in on and strive for, because if you're a very spiritual person, that's not always the forefront of a spiritual person's journey, is their work efforts, okay? We get pushed into it because of society and just being able to have to take care of ourselves, pay our bills, yes, but really it's not something that you were center focused on. And I feel like you're now getting into a stage where you're finding what works for you, you're finding a routine, a thing that's working for you. And I'm being guided to say to keep moving forward. When you feel those tension, those moments when things feel like, oh, I'm going to be challenged in this protection symbol is saying, fight the good fight. Do what is right for you. Lead by example here, okay? Lead, like, how would you want a boss to treat you if you are becoming the boss? If you are becoming someone who has your own business, or you are, taking on some kind of entrepreneurship or something like this, I'm seeing that how would you be these different characters that would be in a workplace, right? How could you be the boss? How could you be the employee? How would you be, the person who manages the money or the books, right? So there's many different levels I'm seeing that you are going to be protected in and guided toward this process, because all these steps are really going to be solidifying your energy. And I'm feeling that these 3 months are going to be a process towards you really establishing a new way of focusing on what your life is going to be like. And this may be a very pivotal point in your journey, I feel. So we're going to look into some of these moon cards and see more of an overall perspective. All right. What is the overall projection here of these next 3 months for those who selected 1 in work, career, finances? Thank you. Wedding, Hera, and Scepter. Okay. So we did not get any of the smaller ones. These are more of, this would be like the goddesses, the major, and then like kind of like a more major thing. So we have number 22 with the wedding with Saturn and Venus. Okay, we have some Capricorn placements here. So if there is anything that has to do with motherhood, wedding, uniting with someone or something like this, maybe you are finding your purpose through a connection with family, connection with others. And I feel like with Hera, there is this mothering energy, this fertile energy that you do have. I feel like this your ability to create and partner up with people is becoming more potent at this time. And this is really bringing in your creation energy. And with this, it has Cancer energy here. So yes, there's just heavy, like feminine energy coming through on top of this masculine energy that I was feeling. So there is this sense of needing to still balance and nurture and care for yourself and those that you have within your care as well, like if you have any children. So making sure that we create a steady balance, or work-life balance in that, so that we don't let any of those two areas spill over into each other. And with that, I'm feeling this take the lead really goes along with this card here. It says that we have more Saturn and Venus energy. So this is funny because Saturn and Venus are very, very connected with finances and money. So I feel like this is you taking a next step. Okay, this is you desiring a position of prominence, a position of authority. Okay, so I'm feeling like you are protected in this. And I had been saying with this last group that I was like, or this last month here, that I was feeling that how would you lead if you were the boss? Well, maybe you are the boss. Maybe this is a position that you're taking on, whether this is an entrepreneurship, your own business, or you are actually taking the lead in a company where if you have a career in a company. I'm feeling that when you stay grounded and you stay balanced in your energy, and this is definitely going to get you that promotion, get you that next level up. And this number 14 is also showing me the card of Temperance. So I'm seeing that balancing that. See this, I'm seeing this as like a phallic and this is feminine. So we have the moon and the scepter kind of thing. So it looks like the balance of feminine and masculine. When we can balance our feminine and masculine selves, we can be the best boss. Because if we're too masculine and we're pushing too hard, we're not considering other people's feelings, right? And then if we're too feminine and we're sitting back too much and not going forward too much, we might not be able to see the needs of ourself that much, and we might be over caring for too many people, and also nurturing people to a point of negligence. Like I just feel like maybe if we become too feminine in the workplace, we become too passive. And then if we become too masculine in the workplace, we might become too aggressive. So I'm seeing having these two balanced out, that is going to make the best leader. That is going to be, your best bet. And I'm also seeing that focusing on this day to day is definitely something that you're going to have to keep into consideration on a daily basis, and making sure that you're doing all your routines, all your self-care, all the things that you need to do, and also still moving forward. Okay, so there's this energy of you that if you're really wanting to take this on, I'm seeing that this is something that needs to be maintained on an everyday, maybe even every few hours of the day in the very beginning of this journey. Because if we're not really used to this, we're going to really have to establish ourselves in this. So spending a lot of time, mastering our ability to do this. So this master builder number. So you're really building up for something here. So first of all, I'm hearing the term by Mel Robbins, the let them approach. Just let them. I feel like there's maybe something that might be going on that you might want to control. And I'm feeling that having respect for people with Hera, how she was able to maintain her dignity was being able to see from both sides and having respect for both sides, because there's a lot of seeded stuff about her relations with Zeus. And I feel that she had a moment, of jealousy over Zeus and the things that he would do, and also just it was some nasty behavior that I just feel is really not kind to the feminine energy. But also I'm feeling that maybe you're needing to rise to the occasion and be in this position. If you are a feminine watching this and you're going to be rising to a position of power, definitely take into consideration all the things that you didn't like about what had brought you down in the past, about masculine bosses that you've had, and to really take that into account, to respect and honor people's vision every step of the way. And don't be too dismissive about what may come about, because I feel that in this process there might be some things that you could create that are not going to be the best. Okay, you're not everything's going to be a banger. Okay, just like me with my readings, I feel like some are pretty good and spirit's really connecting to me, and then others I'm just going through the motions, and I don't always mean to be that. I try to bring my A game, my 110%, but it's not all gonna be that way. So there's gonna be some that are gonna be good, and there's gonna be some that are not gonna be so good. So I think that in those moments of where you perceive yourself to be failing, that maybe we need to take that as a lesson, that we need to get into flow. We need to get back into flow and take into account, where did we start from the beginning? Why were we doing this in the first place? And then you'll get back to that center of finding that feminine energy, and that's where the real growth and the real process starts to happen, I feel. Because to balance the masculine and the feminine, the real trick, especially if you're a woman, is to really center yourself into your feminine, powerful energy. And when we can do that, although sometimes we can get into that dark feminine when we use our masculine, we need to balance that out with that nurturing side as well, because I feel this mothering energy coming through with you. Maybe you have been a mother or you are a mother, but I see that your ability to mother those in the workplace and be this kind of figure is really going to be your power. That is going to be your strongest suit, okay? And if you've had any trouble with anything about your marriage or something that is going on, or if you're having to deal with something of a connection with another person, and maybe this is starting to feel really rough with the Saturn energy, that I feel that maybe you have had to take the lead because there is something going on in that regard, or maybe there is some kind of separation that you had to deal with and you'd had to take the lead because of the separation. I'm seeing that there is a lot of balance coming forward to help you on this journey. There's a lot of protection, a lot of balance, and you're going to be able to take those lessons that you have learned possibly from this masculine or from father figures or anybody in the past, or even, like I said, bosses, and take the lead in a way that is going to be super balanced, and just, you're going to be doing such a good job here. And I just feel like if you give it to yourself as well, I feel like with that life purpose, it's like there is this kind of wish that you have had with the shooting star when it starts out in the beginning of these 3 months. And whatever that wish is, I feel like going back to that, really centering yourself back into the original purpose of why you set out this goal in the first place is really going to help guide you along the way as well. All right, so let's go ahead and look at some more moon cards here. All right, we'll take them. All right, so we have the Sun, find a balance. Freya, you are worthy, you are loved. And Diana, be one with nature. Yes. Yeah, I always feel like to connect, I'm seeing this as like a young deer. So I'm seeing that as like this very sensitive, sweet energy, that you need to come back to that feminine energy when you start to feel off balance and you're in this mode of just going and pushing towards, trying to be successful. That's your very masculine energy that's coming forward. So I'm seeing that we need to retreat sometimes, go into nature, go do something that is feminine for you, go kind of do the opposite. And that's where your balance is going to be found. Because in the Sun, I'm seeing that masculine, that ego sense of yourself, there is something that you're going to reach a pivotal point in this. And you're going to find that your self-worth and constantly, having to check in with yourself and really giving it to yourself. I'm also seeing, since I had already brought up Mel Robbins, I feel like looking in the mirror, she does this technique also where she talks about looking in the mirror and giving yourself a high five, or just, and doing this almost completely naked sometimes, like really giving yourself the credit, like for your vessel, for the process that you have been able to take on being in your physical form. It's like giving yourself all the benefit of the doubt, because when we can really honor our physical body as well, I feel like that's when we can connect more with earthly things like finances and money, and where we can move forward better in our career. If we can honor ourselves and have that sense of self-worth, that's when we can take on positions of power and move more firmly into the purpose that we feel that we are guided here on this planet to achieve. And the sun is also telling me that there is something that is going to be illuminated within your life. There's something that's going to come forward. You're going to be able to see the signs and synchronicities and things that are guiding you towards this process and where you need to go. And also feeling follow the sun. I've recently kind of had this message of following the sun, and that meaning like moving from east to west, moving from, if you're looking down at the south and you're standing in a north position, like I am here positioned, and my window is south, and I would be sitting here in the north, and I have the east on this side and the west on this side. Looking at things like a surveyance, like how we read, how we read in English, and from left to right. So I'm seeing a lot of the things are, you need to make sure that you're surveying everything completely, like taking a really good look at everything. And I'm also seeing you moving in a direction that is going to be progressive to you as far as your positivity goes. So if it's positive and it looks good, let's follow that. If it looks negative and it starts to dim out and it starts to make you feel like you're not really shining your light as much, or it starts to feel like maybe it's dipping back into the place of that we've already tried to heal, maybe we need to just put ourselves in the other direction. And I'm seeing that with Diana, with this bow here, that you're definitely going to be able to find what it is that you want to narrow in on and shoot your shot, okay? I'm feeling like maybe there is a specific period of time as well where maybe you can ask for this position and you're going to be able to feel that out. I'm feeling like this feminine, these goddesses coming through are all showing me that there's the feminine energy within you, regardless of your gender, is going to be able to sense out and feel out when things are right. Sometimes we don't need to move forward. Sometimes we need to back off and we need to let the process happen. Because I'm also seeing within all these cards that we've had this overarching energy that maybe there's a position of power that's opening up soon. And you don't have to do anything to make this open up. Like, you don't have to tell on anybody, or you don't have to, be the person that has to be involved at all. Like, I feel like if anything is going to happen, it's going to kind of ruin itself, if you know what I'm picking up on here. Like, if someone's going to lose their job and you're going to fill the position of that job, there's nothing that you have to do. And in fact, I'm also hearing to stay away, be unconnected to this, because you don't want to be somebody that was connected to this process. You want to be the person standing in the back, doing your work, doing your due diligence, and then being noticed for that, and then someone looks off into the distance and says, hey, what about so-and-so for the job? They've really stepped it up. They've been a really good employee. They've been doing really good. I think that if we are going to promote within the company, that maybe that's the person that we should consider putting on our list. And then that way, if you're not too connected to it and you don't act too eager, but you're doing your effort and your work, I'm feeling that you're going to get noticed. I'm seeing it almost like you being a little bit farther in the crowd, and then someone looking out into the crowd and looking to the center of the crowd, and you kind of shining because of all the effort and all the things that you've been doing. And you're shining because you're also so balanced. Maybe people also have said a lot of good things about you. Maybe even if those things were about jealousy, that might work in your favor. All right, so let's get some tarot on this. Already been a lot of messages, but we're gonna get some tarot and see what other messages you need to hear in this next 3-month process for work, career, finances, and how that is all progressing. Okay, we have the Lover's card, the Six of Wands, and the Moon. Excellent. So there's definitely something that, a partnership. We have the wedding here. There's some kind of partnership, something to do with that. And I'm feeling that either this person is really promoting you and your partner is really like happy for you in this process. And also, you know, both these cards are really about choices, who we surround ourselves with. I'm also hearing like birds of a feather, you know, flock together. So if you are in a work situation and you need to get promoted, make sure that we're not really teaming up with the person who's always taking smoke breaks or the person who is slacking off. You know, make sure that we're not completely associated with those kinds of people. If we want to be successful, we either keep our head down and keep working, or we're associated with people that are doing a good job and not really taking slack out of the company. So I'm feeling that when you make the right choices to be around the right people, that's when success really comes, okay? Because it's really in work, if you're in a career field where there's a lot of people and a lot of competition, it's really about who you know, right? Okay. And then the Moon card is showing me that there might be some hidden things, hidden agendas also of people that are around you that have maybe some jealousy. We have that jealousy card. And then this protection coming in 3 times that we kind of felt is like, you're definitely protected against anybody who's like talking bad about you behind your back. And if you're watching this within the year 2025, this is the year of the snake. So there is salacious gossip going around, okay? So we need to be careful about where we are hearing our gossip, where we are gossiping at. So I'm feeling that that's also a very key element if you're watching that within the time that I'm posting this. But this is a timeless reading. So what I'm hearing is that just make sure that if there are secrets that are being revealed to you, that you're not the one that is totally associated with the spreading of those secrets, because a lot of those might not be true. Okay, that's one thing I'm hearing. And one way that also you can find success in this is treating yourself as though you've already won that prize. You know, really, if you walk, I just got chills with that one. So I'm seeing the bee here coming through, which is really cool because that's kind of how we started out this reading is, you know, with me saying, you know, you guys are the bee's knees and my worker bees, my queen bees. And we have this little worker bee here. Almost kind of looks like a queen bee with the extended abdomen, but we'll say it's a worker bee here. And I'm seeing that like you treating yourself like, because when the worker bee, when they keep going and they're doing their job, I mean, there is this like hive mentality, drone, you know, kind of thing going on. But I'm seeing that when you're very connected to what it is you're doing and you are like, you really love what you do and you're almost giving yourself that like blue ribbon. I'm seeing, it's funny because I'm also seeing like someone being very excited about going to work, having a very positive attitude with that sun that we had come out, and also just loving what you do. You know, 6 of Wands is associated with Leo energy as well. So if you can be just like this very light-hearted, very open character that is ready to engage with people, I'm also seeing very friendly with customer service, because it doesn't matter what field you're in or what you do, you're selling yourself, okay? You're selling yourself first. So whatever you do, if you can sell the fact that you are a blue ribbon winner, then you are going to be able to be successful. Okay. And I'm also seeing that there, with these flowers and this bee and everything, there is sweet rewards that are beyond this hill, beyond these 3 months that you're going to be dealing with. There is some sweet rewards beyond this little hill. I feel like it's a very small journey that you're going to be on. It'll almost be like nothing in a year's time from now. I'm feeling like it'll be like nothing, you know, because the choices that you make now are what's going to determine how you're going to be successful. And I'm also seeing that you're not going to know everything along the journey. You're not going to see, 10 steps ahead of you, as far as business, because you're going to just have to take each choice at a time and evaluate it for what you can and make the best decision that you can at the time. Okay, so let's get some clarifiers here. Clarify the Lover's card. All right, so clarifying the Lover's card is the Queen of Pentacles and the Four of Pentacles. So you are going to be very successful in this. I feel you are definitely going to be able to establish yourself and create your own empire. There's such grounding energy here with the armadillo. And the armadillo goes underground. It has an underground nest. And I'm also feeling like rolling up into a ball and getting the ball rolling. So I'm feeling like once you start saving money, this is going to really pick up and you're going to be able to make some big purchases and make some big money decisions. And this feminine energy that you have within this balance of the feminine, masculine, and work, the feminine energy is going to be so bountiful. I'm feeling like whatever it is within you, I feel like you're going to, this llama is showing me, or alpaca, whatever it is showing me this residual benefit, residual income. It's kind of like when you have a herd of alpacas and that's your like business and you're a farmer of them, that their hair keeps growing. You cut the hair, you use the hair for wool, it just keeps growing. So I'm feeling like there's this residual energy, this residual money that's coming in from efforts that you had made way back. This may have been even further back from these 3 months that we're even looking at. So I'm seeing that through this process of you establishing this, you're going to have more benefits. And this corn is showing me more prosperity in your life. This Four of Pentacles is showing me establishing yourself, really grounding yourself and laying down that foundation of what you need to do. I'm seeing also that making very basic payments on things. You're going to be really, like if you have any credit cards or debts or anything like that, this is going to really get going. You're going to be bringing that debt down. You're going to be doing really well and your credit score is going to be rising. It's beautiful. All right, so let's clarify the Moon card, please. Oh, too much. Clarify the Moon card. So with those spillage out of those cards, there's probably a lot of things that are coming your way, a lot of energies that you're going to be dealing with as far as, because when it comes to career and finances, the reason why we have to write down our budget is because there's so many things that we pay for in our life, right? There's so many little categories. So I feel you finding a real balance in those categories. Then we have the Hermit card clarifying the Moon. So I feel there is this introspection, this going within. Also, I feel like you are the one that is being singled out. Maybe you have gone through a bit of a hermit mode, and I'm feeling like you're kind of like the hermit crab here with when I see this Hera with the Cancer energy. The hermit crab is showing me. So it's like with that feminine energy mixed with your ability to find this wisdom and this intuition that you have within, this is going to be a superpower for you because people are going to be coming to you for the answers because you have got a lot of knowledge in a lot of different categories. So there may be a lot of questions that a lot of people have for you when you enter into this new position of power and success, because like I had said in the beginning, you might be able to make money off of you, just the little residual things of whatever you have done for yourself. You've been able to establish a routine. You've been able to get your finances going. There's something in there where you've been working through a lot of different things. And since this has been so successful for you, you may even want to teach this to other people. It might be kind of a side hustle that you have, and people are going to be coming to you for the answers. And you've already put yourself in the winner's position, I feel, and that's why. Because people see you as a winner. They saw you as somebody who kind of maybe came from something that had to be a little bit of a battle in your life. And then you were able to create success out of that. So, yeah, you guys have really I feel like you've really been through it and you're about to get rewarded big time. So that is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining me in this energy exchange, and I hope you had gotten something out of this. I know I have. Sometimes when I just channel, it just kind of, I'm like, hey, you know, that is good advice. So yeah, I really found a lot of good energy in this, and if you guys want to see me again, please come out and subscribe and thumbs up my video, please, so I can get this message out to others who are in need of it, okay? Thank you so much. Have a lovely day ahead. Bye-bye. Hello to those of you who selected group 2 with this silver coin here. So this is a 1 troy ounce of silver, okay? That off to the side here, and you chose this card with hops and celebration. All right. So pretty fruitful energy already. I feel that there's something, this is gonna represent a 1 card from your first month. Okay. I feel like already with that card and the silver that you had picked, maybe you've already put a lot of money into your efforts, and I feel that you are going to be rewarded for this. There's this energy that's really picking up, and I feel like it's going to be able to sell itself. Whatever it is you're working with, you're not going to be so much of a salesman in this. I mean, we're always selling ourselves in some kind of way, even when it doesn't come to money. You're selling yourself. You know, how are you pushing your energy forward? We have slow and steady wins the race with the sea turtle. And we have affluence. Number 5. So already in your first month, I feel like you are already in a position of doing really well. You're really sitting well. Anything that is coming to you now is something that you have worked pretty hard for, I feel, in the past, put a lot of money into. And now is a time where you can kind of slow down and go at your own pace, and because you've already kind of won this race. And that, you know, that rhymed. So yeah, Spirit speaking through me there. So we have this hops with celebration showing me that things are bountiful, things are going to be really picking up and selling themselves, working for themselves, because now you've gotten into this flow, okay? And things might start to change here with this number 5, and that's just showing me the change is going to be building upon what you've already put into this. And affluence, just that word alone, I'm feeling like you might already be in a position where you have a lot of finances or money, or maybe you're just sitting okay and you're feeling like things are taken care of, your bills are paid, everything is doing well, and you're just tuning into this reading possibly to just see how things are going to be going from here on out. But I feel like already, you know, you are somebody who is able to save some money and you're able to pace yourself because you've already pretty much established yourself in something that you had been doing. And things are going to be really picking up for you here, I feel, because once we kind of get into this slow and steady kind of pace, you're going to be winning, okay? You're going to be winning the race eventually. So it's like you've been really sticking to it. You've been going through your routines, your daily habits. Maybe if you're somebody who works a 9 to 5, you wake up every day. You go to work every day. You do your due diligence every day, okay? As I'm saying that, I just saw some Canadian geese fly overhead, and that is another message of abundance, okay? Canadian geese are very abundant creatures around where I live, and every time I see them, you know, they've either got a flock of babies that they've raised, or they're just in big groups, and I'm seeing that them coming through in your reading is showing me that this is going to take care of the next generation as well. If you're worried about that at all, I feel that whatever you're making now, you're going to be able to share, and that's going to make your family very proud of you, people around you that love you very proud of you, okay? It's so nice. So let's look at your second month. All right, so we have reclaim power with the Devil's Club. Their second month, those that chose group 2 for their second month. Take the Starfish. All right. So Starfish number 59 with open to infinite possibility. And we have truth. All right, so we're really getting down to the heart of the matter in month 2 here, really rooting ourselves. So we have this flower, this blossoming happening here in month 1, and then in month 2 we're finding more grounding energy. I feel like since we've been pacing ourselves and we've been feeling really good about how our finances are going, that's when things start to really ground and root. Okay, so the more time you can work on rooting yourself, the least likely you'll be able to fall over and fall from this position, I feel. Okay, because it's just like the tree, you know, as tall as a tree can get, it spends a lot of time as a young sapling working into the ground. You know, it's most of its life is spent very small, where it's rooting itself, it's getting very established in its area, it's sending out all these little messages to say, hey, this is my space, I'm gonna get this big, so nobody else needs to be rooted around here. Okay, that's kind of a message that I'm getting. And then the Starfish is showing me that not only are there lots of possibilities headed your way, but also there's this regenerative energy within you, okay? Because when a starfish loses one of its limbs, it can grow it back. So I'm feeling like whatever losses that you have had in the past, you're got this affluence energy coming forward. You are bountiful. I'm also feeling like you've been doing a lot of efforts towards gratitude, and you're really being grateful for what you have. And that's just really sending out the message for your manifestation ability to be on point, just picking up, pulling in energy. Very good. And then a lot of truth that is about you here with this equaling in number 7 is I'm seeing that you are going to be guided on a path that not only are you going to start to realize different things about yourself, but you're really going to discover like what you have inside you. Like there's going to be something I feel like it might challenge you, and really you're going to have to dig deep and find something within yourself that you're going to go, wow, I didn't even realize that I could be that strong of a person. Okay, I really feel like you be reclaiming your power through establishing yourself. And also that message that I had about the tree, it's like you're not going to let anybody else take this from you, and you can't, because you already established yourself, you've already put your roots down. And for someone to come and uproot you is going to be messing with a lot of the processes that you've already really established. And I feel like through that, there's these spiky horns are showing me. It's like if someone tries to mess with you, you might have a lot of protection on your side. So if anyone comes for your position or tries to do anything against you or tries to trap you and put you in a box here with that, when I'm seeing that devil showing me, you know, trapping you, putting you in a box, making pigeonholing you into anything, you're not going to really fall for that. Your eyes are going to be on the prize here, I feel. And also just that rooted energy, I'm seeing that those reddish eyes, you establish yourself in your truth. Okay, when you are a truthful and consistent person, when someone can track you, as in like your record of who you've become and who you are as a person, that it's going to speak for itself. Like I said here in the beginning, something's going to sell itself. You're not going to have to really do a lot of talking. I'm feeling like the truth is just there. I also feel like doors are definitely going to be opening up for you. I also see this as a pin that maybe you might do well with writing out things, writing out a list, writing out things that you'd like to accomplish, or like I had said, new discoveries about yourself. You know, giving yourself the credit, because I feel like that celebration card is like, celebrate yourself, celebrate your wins, celebrate the things that you feel like you've really done well in. I mean, if there's a sense of you establishing your own truth to yourself and you reclaiming your power and you finding new possibilities, let's jot all those down, because that's going to be that hand-eye coordination. It's really going to connect you, and it's really going to elevate your ability to walk in a powerful way. I mean, we are basically, you know, the expression of who we are is like through our gait, through the way we walk, through the way we talk, through the way we do things in life. And I feel that like just that alone is you walking with this very confident energy. And that's going to really tell a message to everyone. And I just feel like the universe and manifestation energy alone is definitely going to be now magnetizing towards you, because you are showing the world, showing everyone that you are not somebody to be messed with. Like, you are a powerful person. And so I think that your posture is really going to come into line here. You're really going to be standing up in a way and showing people with your body language that you mean business and you're here to do business. And that's really going to help just every day, you know, focusing in on that for when you go to work or when you're doing your tasks out in the world. You know, that's really sending a message to everyone that this position that you have. And just watch. When you change that about yourself, if that's something that you'd like to change, just watch how people treat you. It's amazing, because if you see people with posture where they're slumping over or they look insecure, you know, people treat those people like they're insecure. They will treat you how you are putting out your body language. You know, it's pretty amazing how it all works. So let's get you a message for the third month here. Looking into the third month for those that selected group 2. Okay, we have shine. Yeah, that goes along with what I was just saying. Really shining that light of yours, standing up tall. Really believing in the infinite possibilities too. Infinite just being like, nothing's gonna run out. You're very abundant. Whoa, frog energy. Let's take it. Clear out the clutter. But frog to me, despite this message, is showing me that prosperity, right? Frog is always means a very prosperous energy, especially in the seeds that you plant, the things that you start out. Because I feel like a frog can have hundreds of babies, but not all of them are going to make it. You know, some of them are going to end up as food for birds or food for snakes or food for whoever. But there's going to be a few of those that are going to be gems. Just like I had told group 1, not all of your work is going to be a banger. You know, there's going to be few that you're like, oh, that was a fail. But if you just keep going, you know, few of those are going to make it all the way. And so I feel like that prosperity that you have to just constantly and residually build here, you have this affluence, you have put in, like I said in the beginning, you have already put in money or, you know, time, effort into this. So it will start to reap the rewards. All right, gratitude. There we go. I'd already said that. So maybe this up against that one, maybe there's a gratitude list that we can constantly make, or celebrating the gratitude that we have. You know, once we get something, really taking that into account and shining no matter what. I'm feeling the calendula is showing me that there is this ability for you to be amongst the weeds. Okay, calendula can be sprouted kind of anywhere. I had this in my strawberry garden once, and it just was like, I'm here. And I don't even remember like putting those seeds there. This was before I made it into a strawberry only garden, but before I had a myriad of different things in there. And then the calendula just kind of came up like, hey, I'm here, look at me. And it was so pretty, it just like shined. And I'm seeing that like that's the message there. Like, I can see you being amongst like people who maybe are not as affluent as you, who aren't doing as well as you, and you really being able to blend in with those people. And it's because you also have gratitude for all the little things, even the things that are very basic, that just keep your life afloat. And through that, you can also see the gratitude in having other people around you, I feel, that are very different walks of life. And if you're somebody who, you collect a lot of things, or you have a lot of things around you, I feel like this card, clearing out the clutter, is showing me to get very defined. If you want to become more successful and more efficient through this process and get into a better flow here, right? Then one thing we can do is, what story are the things around us telling us? Are they stories that stop us in our tracks and get us in our feels and put us too much in our emotional state? Or are they things that are pumping us up, inspiring us, to keep moving forward? So maybe even making a list, a tally of those things, maybe even having what is the gratitude that we have for some of the things that we have? Are we grateful for everything that we have? Or are there some items in our life that are like, yeah, that thing, I just can't seem to get rid of that thing, but maybe, a family member gave it to you as a gift, and, you're just holding on to it because you don't want to upset that person. Well, it could possibly have a better life with somebody else, would probably appreciate it more if you let it go. Giving it to Goodwill, giving it to, a thrift store, giving it to the needy, anybody who needs, is in need of things. Maybe, decluttering in that way, and doing it in a way like you're actually giving back. You're giving with gratitude that I'm passing these things on to someone else. And then also, when we do that, we're making space for new things to come in. Because I feel like already there's a lot of things that want to come in. There's a lot of things within this 3 months that might be really picking up to where you're like, you know what? I'd like to upgrade that thing. Because I'm doing pretty well for myself. I'm going to upgrade that thing, but I can't keep the old thing, that's kind of broken, or, you have to take too much time to work with it in order for it to work. We need to maybe upgrade our things, get something better that's going to be more efficient, that's not going to take so much of your time out of your day. Yeah. And this number 28 is showing me a number 10, coming to the end of a cycle. There's some cycle that you've been in, and you've been in this flow. But then there's, reworking along the way as well, I feel. All right, let's go ahead and look at the overall for these 2 moon decks, and then also the tarot. What is the overall projection of these 3 months in career, work, finances for those that selected group 2? All right, we have first quarter waxing fire moon, number 2 with leaves, competitiveness. Okay. First quarter waxing earth moon with leaves and stability. And then we have number 18 with sacrifice. So I have some Scorpio placements there with Pluto and Neptune. So in this card right here, it really symbolizes this extreme of emotions here with the Pluto and the Neptune energy and the Scorpio. So it's like, let's really keep that in check. I feel like there is something within you that I feel like maybe you're willing to go all in on something. And I'm seeing that this card is telling me, if you're willing to sacrifice something that you have worked really hard for in order to go all in, and you feel like this is a good thing because you've established stability, and then maybe there's some competitiveness, so maybe you might be thinking with a quick mind. I'm seeing that turtle spirit is coming through to say, make sure that what you're doing is that you're pacing yourself and slow and steady winning the race. So maybe not going all in on something right away, because there might be something that because this card signifies having losses if we go too heavy in on something. Because this one shows me we need to keep our stability going, okay? And I feel like for the long haul of things, it's showing me the leaves of the plant. So it's like, in order for the tree to get enough sunlight, it needs all the leaves on it. Like if it only has just a few leaves, it's not going to be able to process all of those nutrients that it needs to survive and its stability. So we need to hold on to some of the things. I'm seeing the leaves as money. So I'm feeling like there's something where you're going to have to hold on to something in order to keep establishing yourself, because there might be something coming up where we're needing to sacrifice some of our time and our energy into a project or something, and we might need something to go back on or fall back on. Okay, so then the competitiveness is showing me, do not be swayed, don't be pushed overboard by what someone else is doing. So if you feel like you become very passionate towards something and your emotions are very involved, I'm seeing that maybe we need to kind of check in with ourselves and make sure we're still on that steady pace. Are we still on that steady pace, or are we letting our emotions get the best of us because we want to win this race, and no matter what it takes, we're going to win? So I'm seeing that it doesn't matter what you do in that process when you get to that place, because there's going to be people winning and losing all the time, and you're going to have wins and losses all the time. But as long as you stay on that steady pace and you just keep I'm feeling saving for the future, keeping that stability going, that's what's going to keep you afloat when times get kind of intense for you. Okay, and also this is showing me, even if maybe we have come from a place where I could see you going up and down in finances. Maybe you are year of the rooster. If that is someone who is watching, this is very specific. But if you are year of the rooster, this is something that you need to keep in check all the time, because the year of the rooster people, they want to go heavy in, and then they lose big, and then they go up and down like this through their life. So are we going to stay in our affluent nature and keep things slow and steady? Or are we going to sacrifice things based on being competitive, wanting to shoot forward and get ahead of things instead? Because I'll say this from my own personal life experience. I've watched a lot of people around me, like they will excel or get like a really nice car or get like a really nice house and do these big things in their life, and then they don't really have like a lot to back it up with. Maybe they have a steady job, but they need to be able to be sure-footed themselves. It's kind of like the message from, I'm hearing the message from like the bird. The bird, it has faith in its own wings. It does not have faith in the branch that it perches on, right? When it lands on that branch, it's not going to say, oh, I'll be fine on this branch. No, it has faith in its wings, that those wings can fly and keep it from falling if that branch breaks. So I'm seeing that, you need to have more confidence in yourself and in your own things and your own ability to shine in the process that you take in your life, and not so much relying on a job or anything like that. Because like I had said in the beginning, we sell ourselves. First, you sell yourself. So you can't really just rely on the fact that you're attached to a company or a career. You have to rely on your ability to make things happen when the going gets tough, right? Okay. So let's get some more moon messages here from this deck. Okay, Moonbeam, you are on the right path. All right, yeah, and I'm seeing that sacrifice coming through. It's like this little bit of warning for me to tell you that stay on the path that you're on, because what you're doing is right, and don't let anybody else's efforts that are, like sometimes I feel like, oh, well, I would really like, a fancy car or a fancy house. But then when I look at all the progress I've actually made, and like the jobs that I've done on my house, like how good I feel like I've gotten to in my life, I wouldn't be here. And it's not like I have to work myself silly to be here. That's another thing. Like if I got a bunch of new things that were really expensive to take care of, that would just up my work efforts. So I feel like me pacing myself throughout my life and saying, yeah, I'll have the inexpensive house that needs some repairs that I'm willing to put the work into. I'll have, you know, an okay car. I'll have, you know, this life that I can maintain. You know, I'm not going to go too heavy or too high into anything, because then I'm not going to be able to keep it slow and steady. Because I've seen, like, you know, this happen to a lot of people where they'll go real big because they feel like their ego kind of takes over, and then they're not able to really sustain that. Okay, then we have last quarter. What is holding you back? And then curiosity, what sparks your interest? It's interesting because we have the first quarter here and we have the last quarter here. So I'm seeing there is this within the cycle. Okay, here we go. Here's what I'm feeling. So I'm seeing that you seeing the front lines and then the finish line. But what's the in-between? Now, the in-between can be very monotonous. It can be very boring to keep going at a pace. But I'm seeing that sparking some curiosity in things that, like, keep your interest in things along the way. Like, I'll go back to what I was saying about, you know, working on my house. Like, I had recently built some things outside my house. I built a shed, I fixed my porch, I fixed the roof. I did, like, a lot of things, but I wasn't staying too focused on, like, finishing or completing out, because I have, like, a hard time with really, I think it's a little bit of ADHD, but, like, I have a hard time really, like, completing and finishing something if it takes too long. So I really try to set small goals for myself. Like, the other day I put shingles on the outside, like, for the siding on the side of my porch. I made some shingles out of old pallets, and I kind of, like, rearranged them, like, stacked them unevenly, so it has this real rustic look, and that's kind of what I'm going for in general with this particular house. And it just looks so cute when I was done, but it only took me so long. I only spent so many hours on it, and I'm not completely finished. There's some little areas that I want to do the detailing on, but also it's like, I like to take things and I like to recycle them. That's what sparks my interest. That's what keeps me going, because I'm like, if I can use something old and turn it into something kind of newish, or make it look cute and it has, like, this old kind of feel to it, that's what keeps me interested. So if I keep going at a pace, if I have to go to the hardware store too much, or if I have to buy things that are brand new, that doesn't keep my interest. It makes me bored. It makes me feel like I'm spending too much money. It makes me feel like I'm not doing my due diligence when it comes to being efficient with my finances. So when I can find a loophole and find something for free and then turn it into something that's like gold to me, I will do that. So I'm feeling like that message for you is coming through here. It's like, if there's something that you're doing and it just feels like you've just been drudging through it and you have to get this done, take some time out, walk away, go do something else, and then come back to it with a pair of fresh eyes after you've already done something completely different. Because I'm feeling that, you know, sometimes when it comes to work and career and finances, it's just such a drudgery, you know. We're just go, 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 just keep going, because we have to feed ourselves, we have to shelter ourselves, we have to keep our car running, we have to keep our house in order, you know. There's just all these things that we have to do, and I'm feeling like there's just something maybe that you need to add in to spark your interest here that isn't going to involve you getting so over the top into a cause or anything. Like, I feel like pick a subject that doesn't really put your emotions into a spin where you're like, I'm all in on this, you know, like, it just, and it really drags you in. So I'm also feeling that with, like, a person as well. If there's anybody that you've been attaching your finances to or getting close to, that you know, make sure that you keep you know, checking in with yourself, because I feel like the last quarter, you know, you might be excited to start something out, but then toward the end of it, it's like you've realized that, was this worth it? So I'm thinking like that middle section of between the first and the last quarter is showing me pacing yourself through this process, but also bringing in things that you you like, because I'm feeling like you're on the right path. Don't let anybody throw you off this path. So if you have somebody in your life that you're maybe going to be mingling your finances with, I'm seeing that, you know, maybe we need to go easy with that. Maybe we need to pace ourselves with that. Don't go all in and just get a joint savings account together right away. Like maybe we need to start out small, where we, you know, try to save in a jar or something, or save in a different, like more old school kind of way. And then maybe we build up to something where we're sharing more. But I think it's like we need to tell ourselves and be realistic with ourselves here. Because there is something coming through about the truth of the matter, okay? And the truth of the matter is that maybe we do have a little bit of a curiosity towards something that could be distracting to us, that could really throw us off our path. And I'm seeing like this shine is really showing me that someone is noticing you, something about you being noticed. So if you're, you know, mingling with another person, you know, I would just be cautious of how you're really feeling about that person or that relationship, so that you're not putting yourself in a position where they're looking at you like some kind of meal ticket, and you have Bambi eyes thinking, oh, I love this person, and then finding out that, you know, they were maybe not being truthful with you about the projection of their finances. So that's just a little side note for somebody here. Let's get some more information in the tarot. Alright, what is some more messages? Oh, well, that one came out already for group 1, but we'll take it. So yeah, there's something hidden right now, I feel. Okay, Magician. I had already seen that one. It's interesting. So your ability to manifest is quite strong. I feel like also your intuition is really on point as well. And cards that fell out on the floor were the Two of Pentacles in reverse and the Ten of Pentacles. So I do feel like you're definitely, there's something like I'm hearing coming from money, having money. And then this Magician energy is showing me two different sides, because when I opened up the deck, I could see it reversed and then it came out straight up. So I could say that both things are true about this, that you're a very powerful manifester. You have all the tools that you need at your disposal. You're great at bringing in the energy that you want to bring in, but also I'm feeling that there is a little bit of deceptive energy within somebody that you're around. Doesn't have totally, like, they have some ulterior motives, okay? So I'd already kind of like felt that and picked that up, and just from this Sacrifice card and some other things. So if there is somebody that you feel like is manipulating you in any way, and it has to do with finances, you're right about that, okay? So trust your intuition on that, and don't let them throw you off balance here. And then I'm seeing this as a nest, so don't let them take your nest. Make sure you always have something in your nest, okay? Don't give away everything in your nest. And this Two of Pentacles is read a little bit differently for me also, because this is not their nest, okay? This is a hawk. A hawk is going to have its nest up high in a tree. This is probably, and I don't know, were you the reading where the geese came through? Yeah, I think yeah. So this could be a goose nest or a duck nest or something like that, right? So these are not, that's not his eggs. So I'm feeling like that message to tell you that there may be somebody, you know, I don't like to read readings that have to do with suspicion and things like that, but when I see it, I gotta say it. So there may be somebody who has their eye on your prizes, okay? So just make sure that you protect yourself, and you can have gratitude for this person and being who they are, but I feel that there's some truth that may be hidden from you about the ulterior motives of this person, and that we need to make sure that we stay in our own balance because there is definitely like this energy of prosperity around you that you may be attracting somebody who might come a little bit on the opposites attract side. So let's just be aware of that. Even if that doesn't even happen, I guess I'm just being guided to say that make sure you pace yourself and don't let anything throw you off too much emotionally, or don't make any big sacrifices when it comes to someone else, because you might regret it. Okay, so we're gonna get some clarification here. Clarify the moon card, please. Six of Pentacles, clarify Magician, Four of Wands, and clarify the Two of Pentacles and the Ten of Pentacles. Woo! That was a flyer. Ten of Pentacles. Okay. Well, yes. So already I feel like you're going to be doing very well with your finances, and you're in this position where you're manifesting a happy home, a happy place. And the Six of Pentacles is showing me that in the Moon card, there may be somebody who is in need of your generosity. And I'm feeling like if they are not really, really close to you, like these meerkats, if they are not a part of your tribe, then you should probably question their motives, okay? And they may not be able to give back to you right away, because the original depiction of this card is that of status. You know, there's one status that is higher than the other status. So I'm feeling like you might be within a higher status of someone that you're attracting. And unfortunately, I feel like that is kind of the case. You know, opposites attract. And then if someone wants to marry into money, you know, they're going to be looking for the money. They're not going to be really focused on the character of the person. They're just looking for the stable finances. And then the person be damned. So I just feel like you want to keep this happy, stable home situation. And in order to do that, and in order to keep it manifesting, it's also the one is saying, consider yourself first. Always consider you, okay? Because sacrificing yourself is going to leave you in a state of loss, is going to leave you with states of regret. And I feel this Ten of Pentacles is not for everyone. You know, this is a family lineage type of thing. This is something that you want to pass on to someone else. So we don't want to sacrifice any of that along the way, because, you know, you want to be able to send out your legacy to the next generation, right? And when you help somebody, if you do help them, a little bit goes a long way, I'm feeling in this too. So a little bit meaning, like, if you're gonna give anybody anything, it would be better to give them advice. It's like teaching a man how to fish instead of giving them your fish. Okay? That's what I'm feeling with this. Because your finances, you know, you might think, oh, I'm doing well, I can afford to help someone out. Well, but when we establish a sense of enabling, that is going to be a continuous thing. It's not just something that happens once. When someone needs, in general, when someone needs and they're a needy person in need, they are probably going to perpetuate this energy until they learn some lessons to be able to go out on their own and do their own thing. So regardless of who this person is, I feel you need to keep your intuition in check and check in with your feelings constantly, because we don't want those feelings to overspill too much and then lead to financial loss. Okay? All right, well, that is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining me in this energy exchange. And if you feel so called and you'd like to subscribe, I would love that. And please give my video a thumbs up so it can reach others who are in need and help me promote my channel as well. All right, thank you so much. Have a lovely day. Bye. Hello to those of you who chose group 3 with this Yarrow and Boundaries card and this beautiful citrine cluster. This is going to be a reading about work, career, finances, and the process of this next 3 months that you're in, okay? So this is going to represent your first month here, one of the cards. So already I'm seeing that is a pretty firm message that establishing your boundaries before something is coming in. So the plant of yarrow, I have a big little, like, well, it's a bushel of yarrow, which once was a tiny little plant that I had in a terrarium just because I liked the way it looked like a mini fern. And it has these real bushy kind of leaves. It was really cute. And I didn't know what it was. I just gathered it for this natural terrarium that I had years ago. And then I planted it outside about 3 years ago. And it has turned into this huge patch of yarrow that is on the edge of my garden. And it's just beautiful. I mean, I have to cut it back even sometimes because it really tries to take over this area. And it's just a beautiful plant. I love it. And it's got so many medicinal properties. I mean, I'm not going to go through all of them. If you want to know about them, you can just look it up. But yeah, lots of medicinal properties and just a wonderful, like, the plant just has like such a positive, good energy to it too. I just really love that about the plant. But what I'm seeing is that, you know, establishing boundaries before something happens or on the front lines, like before someone gets into your home or before someone, you know, we're talking about work and finances. So when I think about being, let's say, being the boss, and in order to establish that, you know, this is what's going to fly and this is what's not going to fly. Like, I almost see it as a teacher too. Maybe there's somebody who's watching this that is a teacher. And I feel like, you know, that first day of class, when teachers like establish the boundaries and the rules, usually the teachers that do that in a firm way, I've found that I have dealt best with those type of teachers than the ones that try to play it all cool, like they're going to be your best friend. Those are the ones you have the worst trouble with, because those teachers have a hard time creating boundaries. And when we have a hard time creating boundaries, we run into a lot of issues, especially when it comes to children. If you are a teacher watching this, like, it doesn't even have to be children. You could be an adult learning teacher or something. And still, like, if you don't establish those boundaries of this is what's going to fly, this is what's not going to fly in this classroom, you know, you're going to have troubles if you don't assert yourself in the very beginning. And I think that true of pretty much any relationship, especially in work relationships. If you are the boss in a work relationship, you know, it's like, this is what you need to do. You know, like if you don't tell somebody that if they come in late, that these are the consequences and this is what's going to happen, they will push the boundaries all the time. Okay, that is one thing that I see. And also, if you are just an employee and you are not a boss, you know, establishing those boundaries for yourself and for other people around you. So you're like, this is the way I work. This is how I do things. And this is, you know, I'm setting down these ground rules. And when you can kind of be stern in that way, someone might say, oh, that person, she's got attitude or he's got attitude. But, you know, really what it's doing though is it's giving respect. So when you can draw the line and have a boundary and say, this is how I will be respected, then you're setting the stage for somebody to come in your life that is going to respect you in that way. If someone wants to talk behind you, behind your back and say something, oh, well, that person, she established boundaries with me, so she must be just a hard ass. No, that's how you can be actually really cool, because you can go, hey, I've already established these boundaries, so these were my rules, this is where I stand, and then, you know, we can have fun. And that way you're not worrying and wondering like, oh, what's the boundary, what's not the boundary, you know. That kind of thing is just really hard to, it's like walking around eggshells around people that don't have boundaries. It's really difficult. So I also feel like, you know, these new boundaries that you might be establishing or reasserting your old boundaries is telling people that the next people that come into my life are going to be people who respect me and will value me more so than the people that, you know, didn't really understand my boundaries. And then we have number 31 with Groundhog Spirit, time to let go. So in the first month, we might be letting go of something in order to make space for something else. I'm just feeling in general with that number 31 coming out to a 4. when we're letting go of things, it's like we're getting rid of things that aren't really in our foundation. So it's like unnecessary information. It's like being taught something that was unnecessary, like some old family rule or some tradition that's like, why do we always do that? Oh, we do it because of this ridiculous reason. And you find it to be ridiculous, and it's not, doesn't make your life efficient. It doesn't help you in any way. And I'm seeing that when you let go of some of those beliefs or those things, whatever it is that you need to let go of, it's just making space for you to have more new established things and ground yourself in energy instead of being kind of on the surface. It's like, I'm seeing it as like that plant, like it wouldn't have been able to create those roots if I didn't give it that space in the front to do that. So if I had maybe something blocking that space where it was at, it wouldn't have grown out the way that I wanted it to create that little border right there. So in order for you to like maybe take things out that are unnecessary, that are maybe blocking the way toward finances and career, maybe old ways of thinking, maybe also taking away maybe some lack mentality that we've had from our parents, or ways that, weird, unusual ways that are very old school that don't really make sense to this modern world that we're living in. You know, maybe there's something that you just need to let go of there. And karmic path, number 8. All right, so I see Saturn in that energy there. It's very interesting. So already it's like you've been walking this path that you are saying, oh, this has been pretty difficult for me, but also it's creating more movement. Karma, I've said this in a few other readings, is just movement to create more growth. So just like all the fractals, you know, fractal things that are happening out in the universe, and how everything is spinning within some kind of spinning situation, there's just always something spinning. So it's like that spinning motion is just like you in your life. You're going around, you're making your rounds, you're doing your things, you're bumping into different people, and certain things don't seem to work for you, and certain things do work for you. So this is showing me that you are on a path of growth. So whatever you've been doing, you've been really asserting yourself, drawing the line, letting go of things that do not serve you. And then that number 8 is showing me from a move up from the 4. It's like you've doubled your efforts in that. It's like you have worked through things. You've been able to, I'm also feeling like you cannot be triggered the way that you used to be. You're going to be involving yourself with many different people. And within those people, everyone has their own boundaries. Everyone has their own stuff that they're hanging on to. And then you have your stuff. So it's like, how do you react? You know, in that first month, I feel, how do your reactions are going to be very powerful. And the citrine stone that you picked here, and this one's also citrine, I feel like finances are definitely going to be coming in waves, and there's something that you're also healing from. The citrine is a very healing stone, so I feel that as healing in the sacral chakra, and also in the solar plexus chakra. So healing that self-confidence, healing our attachments that we've had to other people, and how maybe that has affected the way that we make money in the world. And then our second month here, we have the Devil's Club with Reclaim Power. We already had that come out for another group. I think that was group 2. So yeah, we're reclaiming our power here. So if you also chose group 2, maybe you got a message from that, but I'll reiterate whatever comes through here. So what do those in picked group 3 need to know about month 2 in this financial career journey? Okay, be fearless and bold with the badger spirit. Number 4. It's funny. The badger and the groundhog are ground animals. They dig a hole down in the earth. So I feel like your root chakra is going to be very important. And those flowers in the hair of this badger or around here are showing me there's just this energy in who you are attached to, you know, as a child, and also now as an adult, probably, that, you know, it's very important who we surround ourselves with. that message came through for group 2 as well, I believe, that who we surround ourselves with says a lot about us. So, are we sending messages to ourselves that show us that we're going to be around people that send us lack messages, or people that hold on to things too much, or people that, choose toxic paths in order to keep learning a lesson over and over and over again? Or are you somebody who wants to learn from your lessons, reclaim your power, establish your boundaries, and be bold and fearless in this world? How are you asserting yourself? What kind of body language are you putting out there as well? These 2 cards are showing me. What kind of body language are you putting out into the world? Are you putting out a body language that you're not worthy? Are you slumping over? Does your posture go down? Or do you lift up your shoulders and assert yourself and show people, this is what I mean, and I mean business? The safe travel here is showing me there is going to be some changes, some things you're going to be working through. You're choosing a new direction. And this green color here is showing me that not only are your finances going to be doing better when you reclaim your power, but also when you firmly choose the direction that you want to go in by opening up your heart and your ability to let things in and just see all angles and all possibilities. What is the compass? The compass should be you navigating through that heart space. But with those 2 ground animals already, the first and the second month, I feel like you're going to be able to, I'm seeing burying money. That's funny. That's like keeping your money under the ground. I'm also feeling like maybe you've held with the 2 4s there. Maybe we're holding on to too many of our finances, and that we need to treat money like it needs to be treated, and that is to let it flow. So money in, money out, money saved. Money in, money out, money saved. It has a certain flow and where it's going, and where it's being saved, it might also be circulating in that area too. So maybe that savings that you might have needs to be put into a growth account, or needs to be put into some type of security, some kind of stocks, bonds, something that's building over time, so that it's still circulating out and getting that flow of what energy that money actually needs, because it could be remaining in a stagnant state. Because when we bury money and we put it down and we do the old school method of putting it away, I feel like also, like, not only that, money can translate into our emotional life or our physical body. When we bury things down, when we hold things within, we're telling the world, we're translating out this information and saying, like, I am afraid, right? I don't feel like I can face this. And when you can tell yourself a different story by showing that you're unafraid, by letting your money flow and buying the things that you need to and that necessary in the world, and really believing in the fact that it will come back to you, that belief in yourself is really coming through strong here. All right, let's see that 3rd month. See the 3rd month. Okay. So we have resourcefulness. Great. With the aloe. So yeah, I already feel like you're going to be healing a lot of things with the aloe. Aloe is so soothing, so healing. It can heal so many levels. I mean, you can drink aloe juice and it really balances out the pH in your stomach and helps that healthy growth of bacteria, so we don't have like an imbalance of bad bacteria in our gut. Or you can put it on a cut to help a cut heal, or you can put it on a sunburn to help your sunburn heal faster and be soothed. So I feel like also that's showing me, this looks like a 3rd eye coming through here. There's something within that is healing as well. And I'm feeling like it's your ability to connect with that deeper part of yourself, that consciousness that knows what is the right path and what is the path that maybe is of least resistance, and the resistance path. So I'm seeing that you being more bold and fearless and going toward a direction, you're not going to know all the outcomes, okay? You're not going to know all of the compass. You're only going to know where you start right? And where you might want to end up. But all the in-betweens and all the questions in between are going to be very up in the air. So I feel like having all the resources, having all the knowledge, so being able to educate yourself, have all the knowledge, have everything within your disposal so that you can navigate through things easily. I also see this as maybe even taking some courses or doing something and learning more about budgeting your money, or how to expand your money, or like I had said before, keep your money flowing. If you're saving your money, keeping it in circulation by in some kind of an investment account, so that it's just not stagnating. Because we have inflation, and inflation is rising fast. And if we don't stay up with that inflation and let our money grow itself, we're going to be dealing with a situation where, our money was, from back in the day, I feel. Okay, and then we have watch your words with number 45, the parrot spirit. So I also feel this as doing things over. Okay, I'm seeing that as kind of like the definition of insanity. So remember we had talked about the root chakra already, and maybe there's some old outdated ways that we have maybe learned, and I'm feeling like we need to learn more about our finances and the way that money works these days. So maybe getting into something that is a little more high tech, more advanced in technology, so that we could advance in that kind of a way and not stay stuck in the old ways that we may be conditioned to. Because things are changing and picking up really fast. And I feel like if you're just repeating the same cycles over and over again, expecting different results because you think now you're brand new in some kind of a way, I'm thinking that maybe we are still navigating from an old way of thinking, an old perspective that maybe we needed to let go of and reintroduce something new. I'm also seeing that as the reclaiming the power is that maybe if we're in a relationship, if we're in a marriage, okay, I could see this as being in a marriage and having the connection of that person and kind of being a repeater of that person. So it's like you're letting that person take the reins instead of actually you probably might know more about the situation, but maybe you're not speaking up your own words. You're not speaking your own truth into the matter. You're just going along with things because that's the way that things have been going for so long. I'm seeing things are definitely going to be changing for you. If there is any travel or anything like that, also this is a message that you are safe within that travel. Affluence, number 5, that one came through as well. So some of you are also watching group 2. So I feel with this affluence, the number 5 coming in with that change energy, and we have 45 too. So I feel this as the cycle coming to an end, or almost to an end, and there is some change coming in. And I'm seeing that once you start, like all the things that we had already talked about, I feel like those have already kind of progressed, because this card that's coming in is showing me that with all this process that you've been under and all the healing that you're undergoing, the new information that's coming through, you're going to be a very affluent person. You're going to be well versed in the financial world, and you might even be able to offer advice to other people in this regard. And I feel that this is showing me that your finances are definitely going to be picking up in the end of this month, these 3-month cycle that we're looking at here. And you may be able to save some money, you may be able to spend some money on something that you've been wanting to spend for a while. And we're going to get some more information here. The moon cards. What is the general overall of work, career, finances, all the projections of that, please? Okay, that came through as well. Interesting. All right, and then volcano, commitment. So diminishing or disseminating, waning, water moon with fruit, and commitment. We have volcano, number 1, with Aries energy, Mars, and the sun. And we have first quarter waxing fire moon with leaves, competitiveness. So if you're in a very competitive field, I'm already hearing do not compare yourself too much to others. Also, I'm feeling don't let anything build up too much. We have this fire energy. So if there's anything within you that you've been holding back on, watch your words is showing me in this. It's like, once you don't let the kettle boil over, I'm hearing. And if you need to say something and you feel a certain way about something, to say it before. And we had kind of talked about that, like in the beginning of this reading when I talked about the teacher energy. It's like establishing your boundaries before things get too much. And I also feel like this volcano always shows me this representation of like someone storing up information in order to have a fight later. Okay, so if you are sitting on some things that you don't feel comfortable about and your anger is starting to build up, this is saying watch your words, because you could say some things that you can't take back. And what you need to do is let this out little by little when it's actually in the process of happening. It's kind of like, it's also giving me the representation of training a dog. Like, if you don't tell a dog right when it's doing something at the moment that it's doing it, this can go for almost everything, everybody, even children. If you don't tell them in the moment that they're doing it, and then you want to store it up and tell them later, like a dog isn't gonna get that. Like if you tell a dog, well, since you ate the garbage this morning, tonight you're not gonna get dinner. A dog doesn't understand that punishment. A dog needs to see that this was a no-no, you were not supposed to get in the trash, and since you got in the trash, you're not gonna get a treat. Okay? See, I was going to give you a treat, but you were bad. So, like right in that moment, you have to establish that. And that goes with everything, with all relationships. I used to be somebody who, I've been in my relationships for almost 14 years now, or I guess 14 years when this video comes out. And I used to be somebody who wouldn't tell him things that I was upset about until I couldn't stand it anymore. And then I would just unload. And we'd get in an argument because I could be like, well, you did this and you did this, and a month ago you did that, and 2 months ago you did this, and da-da-da. Instead of being like, at the moment when that thing happened, which I do now, and it's been like a few years before we've actually gotten to a point where like now it's okay. But like before, it's like I was in this transition of it. I was like, first I used to be somebody who stored up the information and then told him later. And then I stopped doing that, and I was like, told him right away, and it was like I was complaining all the time. And then I said, well, I'm not complaining all the time, I'm just telling you now that bothers me, because if I don't tell you now that bothers me, you're gonna see it as I'm storing up that information to tell you later. And I had to tell him this like 100 times before we actually got to the point where, okay, now we tell each other right away when something's bothering us, we don't let it go. So I'm feeling like when it comes to your career and your finances and all the connections that you have that are in relationship to that, we need to talk about the thing when it's happening, not when it becomes an issue. Okay? And if you are in a commitment to somebody, I see that I'm seeing also that you're being pushed into committing to somebody because of some type of competitiveness that is going on. And if it's within your work and they're saying, well, we need you for this many hours and we need you to be here at this time, are you willing to commit to that? And can you keep the consistency of that? Okay. Can you be somebody who is going to be there consistently? And are you doing it because you're competing with someone else, or are you doing that because you actually are doing it for yourself? Aries. But I see also that there's going to be a lot of movement here with Mars. There's going to be a lot of movement forward. I just feel like your group in general, there is just a lot of action, a lot of energy that we're working with here. And maybe even things that we've been dealing with that have been angering us a little bit. We've been getting a little frustrated, and we need to discharge this energy in a healthy way, okay? And maybe not committing to things that we might not be able to see all the way through, and letting out what we need to say about things. And also, I'm feeling like if there is gossip in the workplace, we need to, if you're watching this within the year 2025, when I'm posting this, we're in the year of the snake, and salacious gossip is a headline of this year. So let's be very careful about what we say about other people, or repeating what other people say, because it might not all be true, and you might be held accountable for it if you are attached to it in any way. So my best bet on that is I just like to stay away from it in general. I mean, I look at it like if I notice or I catch myself in that moment where I'm like, oh, well, here's the gossip. Somebody's gossiping about so-and-so, and here I'm about to add my 2 cents in. I check myself, and I say something like, even though I may be the Debbie Downer or whatever in that process, I would rather say that and be the person who goes, I don't really feel like gossiping about that person because I don't really know if all that information's true or not. And I know it's fun to talk shit about people, but I just feel like that's not the highest frequency that I want to be in, especially looking at the projection of my future. Like, I don't see myself as being somebody who gets into the gossip energy. And I used to be someone like that, but I have changed. So I would rather be in a higher frequency where I love and support all the differences that everyone has, than moving forward and telling the same old stories about so-and-so because it's funny at the time. Because it's not going to get you very far. It's just going to keep you in that moment, and probably for a really long time. All right. So let's get some more moon cards here. Some more energy for those that selected group 3. Okay, we have new moon, fresh start, new beginnings. All right. Yeah, I did feel that a little bit with the Aries card, with this number 1 card. And number 13, divine feminine, step into your power. This card always gives me with the 13 is like the death card. It's like that rebirth energy. So it's like you're starting something new because something old is going away. And stepping into your feminine, divine feminine energy. So very powerful position. So I'm feeling like you using all of your abilities, and I'm just seeing you using all of your feminine qualities to your advantage too, regardless if you're a man or a woman. You know, balancing out that feminine masculine can be such a powerful energy, because not only are you able to move forward in life, but you're also able to sit back and receive when time is for receiving. Then we have Kali here, step into the unknown, do not be afraid. So we already have messages of be fearless, be bold, step into, don't be afraid, step into your power. So I feel like that is the biggest part of this, is I feel like you're going to be taking on things in a whole new light. You're going to be, like at the beginning we talked about that, you're going to be the teacher that comes into the classroom and is the hard ass to begin with, and then you get to be cool all year long because that one day you established your boundaries. Now you get to be this super chill person because you were able to get everything out. Whereas holding things in, letting them build up until they're a volcano exploding all over everyone, you know, is not the way to be. That's not the way to establish any kind of boundary. You know, maybe for a volcano, sure, but you know, you're not a volcano. And Kali, I'm just seeing like you also cutting away things out of your life that aren't going to serve you, but also Kali goes along very well with the volcano. It's like we need to be careful, and this, watch your words. It's like in the story of Kali, she loses the one thing that she really loves because she gets so into the nature of her power energy, and she storms and stomps all over everything, and she's cutting heads off people and stuff. And I'm feeling like to have balance with your power, when you first newly establish your power and you're in this beginning stage where you're starting out something new and establishing yourself, that's when it's best to find your balance. Because then when you can find your balance, find your boundaries, establish your energy, and know to discharge your energy when it's necessary to do so, then we don't have to explode into this energy of I've had enough. This has gone too far. Or no, it's like you've let it go too far, and then you have to say this is enough. So I'm feeling with finances and things, like let's say maybe you haven't been paying your credit cards off, or you haven't been saving any money, and you're like, I can't do this anymore. I can't live paycheck to paycheck anymore. This is done. This is over with. I'm ready to start new. I'm ready to find new resources. I'm ready to do things differently. That is reclaiming your power. That is finding new boundaries for yourself. And when you can do that for yourself, you have that respect for yourself, other people will follow suit. They will fall into line, and they will respect you for the boundaries you created for yourself as well. And then you don't have to cut heads off, okay? You don't have to blow up on people. You can just be that chill person throughout your life because you have established all these set boundaries for yourself and others. So good. Love this energy. All right, let's get some tarot on this as an overview. All right. Here's the selected group 3. What is some more energy that they need to hear about? We're adding on to the message we already have. Okay, so we have the Two of Wands in the reverse with the stingray. Oh, cards are just jumping all over the place. We have the Justice card with the crane. Oh, that's so beautiful. Crane is a longevity. And in relationships, long-lasting relationships. So I'm feeling you're entering into a phase where things are going to be long-lasting for you. We have the Four of Cups with the octopus. Yeah. In work, the octopus is showing me that you're going to be multitasking. That's why I'm feeling like my words are speeding up. Everything's speeding up. Like I've had a cup of coffee and I don't even drink coffee. So I feel like you're multitasking. You're going to be doing multiple different things at a time. And the Two of Wands is showing me that in reverse, it's like we're not quite ready to bound out into the world. We're not quite ready to see what the world has to offer, because maybe I'm feeling like there's something that we still need to rework, revise, or like I had said here with the resources, finding the right resources in order to move forward, because the energy is picking up, and the stingray is showing me that you're going to get into a really good flow, and there's also going to be other creatures, other things that are going to be attached to you in this process. So it's like, like when a shark swims and it has like the little fish that swims on the side of it or sucks onto the side of it. The stingray is the same way. It has little creatures, and I see the stingray is kind of coming to the shore here, and it's almost showing me like he's coming to the sand because he's trying to rub those creatures off of him. He's getting into like the shallower water so that those creatures that were trying to be attached to him, like, hey, where are we going? Where's the next journey? What are we eating next, buddy? Hey. Like, you're not going to have those people, those hangers on anymore. I feel like that karmic path really showed us in the beginning that there's going to be a lot of things, maybe even people that we're letting go of in this process, because we're tired of having hangers on. We're tired of taking care of other people that don't know how to take care of themselves. And I'm, hearing that saying, God takes care of those who take care of themselves. So it's like once you show the universe that you are willing to take care of yourself and have these established boundaries and do these things, that's when the energy really starts to pick up, and that's when the money actually starts coming more in. Because when you're telling the universe that you're willing to enable another person and not stand in your own power, and you want to enable other people in order to gain more power, it just gives you more of that energy by having more hangers on, by having more people to take care of, because it thinks you're this, sucker for taking care of people. And I feel like that's going to be ending for you, and you're going to be, and with that this crane is showing me more longevity. You're going to be getting your justice. You're going to be getting your karmic rewards in this next chapter. And at the end of this 3 months for you, I really feel like you're going to see yourself standing tall, really singing your own song, really standing in your own power. And this is going to be adding to your longevity. These birds, they live for a very long time. They do these amazing, beautiful dances. I encourage you to watch anything about them. They're so amazing. They do these beautiful, the Japanese crane, it does this dance in the snow with its partner that's so elaborate and beautiful. Oh, it's so romantic. I feel that's another thing. Like whoever you're attaching yourself to, you're bringing in this new sense of romance in your life. I feel like somebody's going to be spending some money on you. Yeah, that's definitely coming through. And then in the Four of Cups, you're not going to be around those things that you're dissatisfied by anymore. Okay? There's not going to be any of that energy, because yeah, it's good to sit and say, I don't deserve that. But actually moving through life like that, having your posture like that, putting body language out there into the world that tells other people, I feel this way and I will not be disrespected. These are my boundaries. Like that's when really stuff starts to happen for us. When we know what we're worth and we show the world what we're worth and we walk as such, we talk as such, we talk with integrity, we move with integrity, that's when things really start to happen and we regain our power and our control over the energy that is all around us. Because that's all it is. It's all energy moving through us and around us. And when we start to tell a different story to ourselves and say, hey, I'm willing to walk with this balance. I'm willing to let things go that are no longer, in that balance. They're weighing the scale too much down on this side. And I'm rubbing off those little creatures that are just kind of putting a drag on my flow. Yeah. All right. Yeah, and that waning, the disseminating, it's showing me, we just have commitment, but like in order to commit to something, we have to let something else go in our life sometimes, right? Like let's say you get a new job and then all of a sudden that job says, oh, well, you have to be here at this certain amount of hours, but that's going to cut into you hanging out with these other people or doing this other stuff with your life. Well, that stuff's got to go. So, you're on a different path. You're moving in a different direction. And you're also coming to the shore is showing me like going from an emotional state to a very practical, balanced state, like out of the coming from the water to the land. It's like you're coming into this more grounded, practical energy. And maybe before we had been very emotional about our finances, and that was kind of making them all like up and down and making us not be very abundant. But this next chapter, after these 3 months, you're going to be feeling very affluent with your energy. As I'm saying that, a hawk just flew by. Yeah, it's circling over here. So I feel like that is in seeing a higher perspective, getting up high on the energy. We have 8 of Swords, 5 of Wands, and the Emperor. Yes, thank you. Yeah, the 8 of Swords is showing me that, yeah, you have been trapped by your own perspectives. There have been some limiting perspectives that you have had within your karmic field that wasn't really, establishing too much growth for yourself. Maybe I feel like you're almost giving it to other people. You're giving away your power to other people. And I feel like this 5 of Wands is showing me that you're no longer going to fight these childish fights. You're no longer going to get involved in battles that you cannot win or situations that you're getting into that are just petty. I feel like there's a lot of petty things. Like we have this watch your words. So it's like your energy is going to be now changing and focused in a direction where you feel that it's most efficient. And when you do this, you're going to be pushing away people who maybe don't feel super comfortable about the position that you're taking. You're moving in this new direction and these people are like, hey, come argue with me, come give me your energy. And you're like, no, actually, I have to give my energy to this because I'm doing this now. And they may not like this. So I see this change that's coming in. It's like with that, you don't have to do anything. I'm also feeling with these cards here, Justice, Watch Your Words, and this card, You don't have to fight these battles. If someone is karmically influencing your life and has done something to you negatively that has affected you in your energy, they will get what they, deserve for that. And you don't have to do anything. And then the Emperor is showing me that you've healed a lot of your masculine energy. And this is going to be reaping the rewards. This is going to be, you're going to be able to establish yourself more. You're going to be able to move more with purpose. I also just feel like that Emperor is showing me that Aries energy as well. So, if seeing the horns, if they don't align with you, they get the horns. It's just a matter of you being in your power, you walking in the direction that you need to walk in. And the Elephant is also just showing me that having that, first of all, if you're a feminine energy, having that real respect and not being in opposition to other women. Like you are coming together with other women. You are having this internal monarchy energy that's happening and creating so much beautiful power within you. And if you are a masculine watching this, you are standing up in your own right. You are creating more maturity within your up-leveling, and you are going to be rising to higher positions of power within your career. And this is just beautiful energy. The 4-4 message though that's coming through too, and then we had a 4-4 in the beginning as well. This is a real establishing energy. You're going to be able to save money now. You're going to be able to see things progress for you now because you have rooted yourself in new beliefs, new energy, and you're walking forward with more stability and confidence in the world. And that is just so beautiful. Well, thank you so much for joining me. That is all I have for you today. And I wish you guys all the luck and the love in the world here. Just really open your hearts and let that abundance flow in, okay? And if you need to let go of anything, do it with compassion and love, all right? Well, thank you again. And if you feel called to, please subscribe and thumbs up my video, okay? It'll really help my channel. And I appreciate all of you. I love all of you. All right, bye-bye.